President Ali says, "Not a square inch will be ceded, now or ever." Newsroom Guyana reports. President Dr. Irfan Ali delivered a resolute message on Wednesday regarding Guyana's territorial integrity, stating that not a single inch of Guyanese land will be surrendered amid escalating tensions with Venezuela. His comments come just days before Venezuela's planned elections concerning the disputed Essequibo region, which have been widely condemned as a sham by Guyana and the international community. Addressing the public, President Ali emphasized that Guyana is unshakable, unbreakable in its defense of the Essequibo region, particularly following a recent border attack on Guyanese troops. He reaffirmed his government's unwavering commitment to national sovereignty, declaring, "We are 83,000 square miles broad and strong, unshakable, unbreakable, and that is how it's going to be." The president outlined a three-pronged strategy for national defense in response to Venezuela's provocations: steadfast diplomacy, enhanced defense capabilities, and strategic international engagement. "We have always pursued diplomacy with our neighbors, regional leaders, and the international community," he noted, while also highlighting the importance of strengthening defense systems to protect sovereignty and territorial integrity. Ali stressed the significance of collaboration with global allies, particularly the United States, on security matters. He mentioned ongoing intelligence sharing and quiet diplomacy as crucial components of their strategy. While he did not confirm whether Guyana would expel Venezuela's ambassador or recall its own envoy, he assured that diplomatic channels remain open. This statement follows a recent incident where Guyanese soldiers were attacked by individuals in civilian clothing at the border. Investigations are currently underway, and the U.S. ambassador to Guyana has expressed support for maintaining peace and stability in the region. As Venezuela prepares for elections in the Essequibo, a move explicitly barred by the International Court of Justice, ICJ, President Ali urged unity and national pride among Guyanese citizens. He stated, "Let us all be proud of our heritage. Fly our golden arrowhead high. Our position is clear, and it is final. Not a square inch will be ceded, now or ever." Gunfire erupts in Sophia, 2 men hospitalized. Newsroom reports. 2 men were injured in a late-night shooting in Sophia, Georgetown, leaving residents rattled and police searching for armed suspects. The victims have been identified as 34-year-old Andrew Stewart, an unemployed resident of Guyana Park, and 22-year-old Lidge Grant, a construction worker from Field, Sophia. The shooting occurred around 9:45 p.m. on Tuesday, May 20th, near the Mercy Wing Vocational Center in Field. According to police reports, Stewart and Grant were traveling on separate motorcycles when 2 masked men, dressed in dark clothing and riding an unregistered motorcycle, approached them and opened fire. In an attempt to escape the hail of bullets, the victims jumped from their bikes and sought cover behind a parked truck along the street's parapet. The attackers continued firing before fleeing the scene on their motorcycle. Both Stewart and Grant sustained gunshot wounds, Stewart to the right side of his lower back, and Grant to the upper right side of his back. Quick-thinking passers-by assisted the wounded men and transported them to a city hospital, where they were treated and admitted. Medical personnel have confirmed that both victims are in stable condition. Police from the Criminal Investigations Department, CID, responded to the incident around 10 p.m. and cordoned off the area. Crime scene investigators recovered 15 spent 9mm shells from the scene. Notably, CCTV footage has revealed an exchange of gunfire between the suspects and the victims, prompting investigators to conduct gunpowder residue tests on Stewart and Grant's hands, as their role in the shootout remains under scrutiny. Several residents in the vicinity have been questioned, but the identities and whereabouts of the shooters are still unknown. Police have confirmed that efforts to track down the suspects are ongoing. Laguan man charged with unlawful wounding of wife. Newsroom reports. Orwin Rankin was charged with unlawful wounding on Wednesday by Magistrate Bess at the Wakenham Magistrates Court. He pleaded not guilty and was granted bail set at $40,000. Rankin, a speedboat captain who was arrested on Tuesday, faces allegations of domestic violence against his wife. The police intervened after his wife's mother, Sharmila Dhunraj, posted a photo on Facebook showing her daughter, Selena, with a bloodied face. The case has been transferred to the Laguan Magistrates Court and is scheduled for May 29, 2025. 3 Linden men charged with armed robbery granted bail. 3 men from Linden were charged with armed robbery on Wednesday following an incident involving a resident named Gang Xing at Central Amelia's ward, Mackenzie. The accused are 19-year-old welder Muhammad Bakr of Powys Crescent, 28-year-old laborer Javon Lafleur of Self-Help, and 19-year-old laborer Elijah Jilks of South Amelia's ward. The trio was arrested on Saturday in connection with the offense and appeared at the Linden Magistrates Court on Wednesday, where the charge was read to them. They were not required to enter a plea. The presiding magistrate granted each defendant bail set at $350,000. As part of their bail conditions, all 3 must report to the Mackenzie Police Station twice a month. The case has been adjourned to June 27, 2025. 1 dead, several injured in Beehive collision. Newsroom reports. A late-night collision along the Beehive Public Road on Tuesday resulted in the death of a 28-year-old man from Mahakoni and left several others injured. Police are describing the incident as a tragic and avoidable road accident. The fatal crash occurred around 8 p.m. and involved 2 vehicles. Motorcar number PGG 2109, driven by the now-deceased Dindial Rantidio, and motorcar #PH766, driven by a 32-year-old male resident of Mahaica, East Coast Demerara. Rantidio's vehicle had 1 occupant, a 37-year-old man from Fairfield, Mahakoni. The second vehicle had 5 occupants, including the driver. Preliminary investigations indicate that motor car number PH766 was traveling east along the northern carriageway when the driver noticed a westbound vehicle ahead with its hazard lights flashing, signaling that a horse was crossing the road. At that moment, Rantidio, heading west in motorcar number PGG 2109, reportedly overtook the vehicle with the hazard lights and collided head-on with motorcar #PH766, which was traveling in the opposite direction. The impact was severe. Public-spirited citizens rushed to assist and transported the unconscious Rantidio in a police vehicle to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where he was tragically pronounced dead on arrival. His passenger and all 5 occupants of the second vehicle sustained varying degrees of injuries and were taken to the Mahakoni Public Hospital for treatment. Police arrived at the scene around 8:10 p.m. The driver of motor car number PH766 underwent a breathalyzer test, which showed no trace of alcohol. Both vehicles have been impounded for mechanical inspection by a licensing and certifying officer, and a notice of intended prosecution has been served as investigations continue. This incident highlights a worrying trend of fatal collisions on Guyana's roads, many of which involve overtaking in high-risk situations. Authorities are urging motorists to exercise caution, especially when visibility is compromised or road hazards are present. Bandits agree to repay $600,000 to Chinese supermarket after robbery. Guyana Times report. 2 robbers who admitted to holding a Chinese supermarket owner at gunpoint were granted bail by Burbis Magistrate Michelle Mathias on Monday. The incident occurred on April 9 at Sweet Life Supermarket in Deadwood Village, West Bank Burbis, Region 5. The defendants, Cleveland Sears, a 24-year-old construction worker from South Ruimveldt Park, Georgetown, and a 17-year-old accomplice, committed the robbery armed with a firearm and a knife. They pleaded guilty to the charges on April 14 and were remanded, Sears to prison and the teenager to a juvenile holding center. On the evening of the robbery, around 9:12 p.m., the supermarket was closing when the masked men stormed in, demanding cash. They made off with $500,000 in cash and $400,000 worth of phone cards. Following the incident, CCTV footage led to their arrest, and both reportedly confessed during video and audio interviews. Police recovered $7,800 along with clothing matching what was seen in the footage. Sears claimed the weapon used was a toy gun and stated that the idea to rob the supermarket came from the teenager. Magistrate Mathias ordered probation reports for both robbers and scheduled their next court appearance for May 19 for sentencing. Troubled lives. The probation reports revealed both defendants had troubled backgrounds. Sears completed high school but dropped out of a tertiary institution, although he finished an information technology course. The teenager, who dropped out of school at age 15, had a history of stealing from family members and was dismissed from a lemonade factory for theft. The reports recommended that both receive professional counseling and that the teenager be reintegrated into the school system. During the hearing, attorney Ronald Daniels, representing Sears, stated his client was willing to pay $500,000 in restitution to the supermarket owner. However, the owner, Bin Boa K, expressed a preference for $900,000. It was ultimately agreed that he would accept $600,000. Magistrate Matthias provided guidance and warned both defendants, who apologized to the supermarket owner. She advised them to also apologize to their family members when possible. They were released on their own recognizance but must participate in a counseling program conducted by the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security. They are required to return to court on June 27 for an update on their counseling sessions and restitution. I will take you out of poverty. Outgoing PSC chair offers support to Guyanese. Newsroom Guyana reports. Guyana is a nation rich with opportunity, and with this growth comes an increasing need for manpower. Outgoing chairman of the Private Sector Commission, PSC, Komal Singh, made a heartfelt appeal to citizens facing poverty, urging them to seek assistance. Speaking at the 33rd Annual General Meeting of the PSC on Tuesday, Singh emphasized that anyone willing to work hard can improve their circumstances and benefit from the country's ongoing development. However, he made it clear that commitment and determination are essential. I want to say one thing to the public. Across Guyana, we have seen video evidence of people claiming they are living in poverty. I can understand poverty if there are no opportunities. But in a country with an abundance of opportunity, I challenge anyone who says they live in poverty to come to me. I will take you out of poverty within 6 months, provided you are willing to do 2 things. Work 6 days a week and commit to coming out of poverty, Singh stated. His remarks served as a call to action, encouraging Guyanese to seize the moment and engage in the various opportunities available across multiple sectors. There is a big future ahead for Guyana. This country has wonderful opportunities that we should all capitalize on right now, he added. Singh, who has served as chairman of the PSC for the past 2 years, has been a vocal advocate for national development and personal empowerment through hard work. His successor, Jerry Guvia Jr., was elected as the new chairman of the Private Sector Commission. 3 arrested after police seized ganja, cocaine, meth, and illegal liquor in home raid. A routine police operation turned into a significant narcotics and contraband seizure on Tuesday when law enforcement officials raided a residence on 6th Avenue, Bartica, uncovering illegal drugs, uncustomed alcohol, and over $900,000 in suspected drug proceeds. According to police, the operation led to the arrest of 3 individuals: a 66-year-old unemployed woman of East Indian descent, a 32-year-old businesswoman of mixed ancestry, and a teenage occupant. All 3 were taken into custody following the raid. During the search of the premises, officers discovered 3 transparent plastic bags containing leaves, seeds, and stems suspected to be cannabis. 1 plastic bag with a whitish, rock-like substance suspected to be cocaine. A handbag containing 2 Ziploc bags suspected to hold methamphetamines. A total of $918,050 in Guyana currency, believed to be proceeds from drug trafficking. In addition to the narcotics and cash, police seized 46 bottles of imported alcoholic beverages suspected to be uncustomed goods, including 8 bottles of Bel Air, 2 bottles of Jack Daniel's whiskey, 12 bottles of Johnnie Walker Black Label, 6 bottles of Hennessy, 4 bottles of Johnnie Walker Gold Label, 5 bottles of Ciroc vodka, 4 bottles of Fireball, 5 bottles of Jose Cuervo tequila. The seized narcotics were weighed and documented at the Bartica police station. The cannabis amounted to 89 grams, the cocaine to 2.8 grams, and the methamphetamines to 0.6 grams. All substances were marked, sealed, and lodged as evidence, while the uncustomed liquor was also recorded and stored. The 3 suspects remain in custody and are assisting police with ongoing investigations. Authorities have yet to determine whether the items were intended for local distribution or if they are part of a wider drug trafficking operation. Linden to host Guyana's largest solar farm. A $22.58 million contract was signed on Wednesday for the construction of a 15-megawatt MW solar farm in Linden, which will become the largest solar facility in Guyana upon completion. This initiative is spearheaded by a Chinese joint venture between Sumek Complete Equipment and Engineering Company and XJ Group Corporation, in collaboration with Guyana Power and Light, GPL, through the GuySol program. Kesh Nandlall, team leader of GPL's executive management, stated that the engineering, procurement, and construction contract will lead to the development of 3 solar systems in Linden. Currently, Linden's electricity demand stands at approximately 11 megawatts. The new solar project, which includes batteries for power storage, is designed to meet this demand and accommodate any future growth in the region's energy needs. This is the largest single investment in renewable and solar PV energy in Guyana, Nandlall declared at the contract signing event held at the Waduka Guesthouse in Linden. The project will also enable the government to reduce the annual subsidies required for purchasing and distributing electricity in the area. Guyana's Prime Minister, Brigadier Reddit Mark Phillips, emphasized that the government will not raise electricity costs. He assured, the electricity needs of Linden will be supplied by this solar farm, which will be ready sometime in 2026. We will be able to use less fossil fuels and contribute to saving the planet. This initiative falls under the Guyana Utility-Scale Solar Photovoltaic (GuySol) program, utilizing funds earned from Norway to preserve the country's rainforests, which are held in the Guyana Red Plus Investment Fund (GRIF).